All right. That hurt my hand actually a lot.
And we're live.
I was the first thing I was going to talk about was going to be my hand burn, just so if anyone saw it.
We saw it.
But it did segue nicely because it just hurt my hand doing that.
Yep.
Did you see it, Tyler? Did you notice?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, your hand?
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, really gross. Just I was wondering because I don't want anyone to who's watching to be like, what the hell's wrong with his hand?
Yeah, it's not even like you're walking up to people and just saying like, look at this.
Yeah, you know what? I was at the pharmacist today, and she didn't comment on it. She was a very chatty Kathy, and she didn't say anything about that. And I was wondering, that's an easy thing to talk about.
You're showing it off like a newly engaged person, just like trying to like flash the ring,
Yeah.
but instead it's the giant gaping wound on your hand.
It doesn't look bad anymore, though.
No. Well,
It looks,
It looks a little
wrong.
fucked up.
Yeah, it looks like something's wrong.
Yeah,
Nice
it looks kind of
tan.
fucked up.
A good tan. But anyway, so we started every podcast. You've seen one,
Yes.
right? Just one?
Yeah, the last episode.
Yeah, so we start every single one with a Would You Rather.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm testing out, do I tell them the Would You Rather before or do I surprise them? And this one is a surprise.
Okay.
Tyler doesn't know it either.
I don't even know it. Yeah.
And you know what? I decided not to think about it, so I wouldn't know it either. But I do know, but I don't know the answer.
How do you not think about it?
Because I have a lot of things to think about. I'm a busy man.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's would you rather murder one random stranger or cut off your own hand?
Would I? Okay, question.
Yeah. Feel the
Yeah, I always have
questions.
questions.
Am I for sure? Am I
like the
caught?
questions.
Am I risking getting caught?
Yes, of course.
Oh.
So the
Oh.
task is like, now you have to go, because you have to cut off your own hand. So both things you have to do yourself, or
Right. Or murder a
you
person.
just go out there and murder a random person. And the statistics are, if you murder a random person, I don't know statistics, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
Probably get
you're
away
not
with
gonna
it.
get caught.
You'd be
almost-
at least
almost-
likely
yeah,
suspect.
There's almost
Yeah.
no way you get caught if you murder a random person. You have to have some kind of
Interesting.
like method or something to give you away.
Well, I already know what I'd pick.
Okay, well usually you share it.
Okay.
Yeah, you go first.
I don't keep this to myself.
No, you're like, okay, I got it. I'll see you guys later.
I would probably pick the kill the random stranger.
Yeah.
Mostly because I like the idea of a challenge.
I thought you were gonna say of murder.
Well, yeah, because I've done it once before and I didn't get caught.
I loved
so
it.
I could probably get away
Yeah.
with doing it again. No, it just seems like, because you said that I could get caught. Like
Yeah.
there is a theoretical chance of
Yeah.
getting caught. So I think if I know I have to kill someone, I would want to put in the effort to plan like the best kind of murder,
Right.
and something that I couldn't like. I'd almost try to make a game of it because
Right.
I feel like it's on me to like. The universe is somehow made sure I have to kill someone,
Yeah.
so I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
Whereas with the hand, it almost just seems too easy.
Right.
Like,
Too easy.
I would
you
just-
have to do it yourself.
yeah, which would suck.
Which is scary.
And I think like it has more consequences
Yeah.
going forward
It
if you
does.
don't take into consideration like
basically-
morality.
Yeah, it's basically what it is would you rather live with the mental anguish or the physical anguish? That's pretty much the question.
Yeah, I think I would kill somebody. I don't think I'd want to live with one hand.
But I think the struggle, it would be much harder to live with that you murdered someone mentally. Like that would be really
For like
hard.
the first
For
like
some people.
5 years or something, and then like 30 years down the road or 50 years down the road, I'll be like at an old folks home,
Yeah.
and I'll be like sitting there, and someone
And
will
you-
like read a newspaper
Right.
from like back in the day, and like they still haven't caught that guy, and I'll have like a twinkle in my eye, and
Yeah,
be like,
you-
oh,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
the day.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think you become a guy if you only kill one random stranger.
Because it's either that or you're the guy who can't hold the newspaper.
Yeah.
I'd
always
rather
think-
be the guy
I always
who-
think I got a good question, and then everyone answers it really easily.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go murder a stranger, because I guess you know what I realized is you wouldn't have as much guilt because you were forced to, right?
Yeah.
You made a choice. It wasn't like you just felt like it. So that the guilt comes from you want to murder somebody, you do.
Right. Yeah, that's
That's
true.
where the guilt comes from.
Yeah.
So I guess you wouldn't have mental anguish.
I'd
that
be
you killed
pushing the
somebody.
blame onto the situation that put me into this
Well, no, I
predicament.
guess you would have some guilt because you could have chose not to, but in some way you would. It'd be easier.
Hand or stranger.
Yeah.
I think I pick.
Plus,
stranger.
I'd probably do like some like, because do I get to pick this stranger too?
Yeah.
Because then why wouldn't I pick like something like a pedophile or something like that and
Right.
do some good,
Yeah.
or like
Vigilante
somebody with a
justice.
lisp.
or that?
Yeah. The List Association of Canada. is
There we
gonna
go.
be
We're
really
getting
bad, yeah.
canceled. The first one's in.
Yeah. You know, I always think, what about if it's two strangers, or if it was a child?
Oh, that's a tough
Child.
one.
Okay,
Okay,
child.
kill a child or hand.
Yeah. 'Cause
Child
I'm
for
always,
sure.
I'm always interested in what's the crossover point where you switch.
This
That's
I
a
would
tough
say hand.
I'd
Because
probably do
then
hand.
I was thinking like I would want to like look at who the person I'm killing. If I could theoretically kill like a bad person, great.
Yeah.
But also if I could kill a seemingly normal person and find
Yeah.
something bad about them,
Right.
then I could justify the killing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A child, who knows who
Kid-
they could
the
like
kid
grow up
sound weird.
into.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think I could do a kid.
No?
Yeah, I think that's
Kid
the
is
line.
where you shift.
Yeah.
What about a 15-year-old?
They kind of suck.
Yeah,
they're really
I was gonna say
annoying.
I
that's
hated
probably
my-
easier than the adult.
I hated myself when I was 15, so I think that makes sense. I could easily do it.
I think like the best is between 14 and 17,
Yeah.
and then it starts to come out.
Yeah, that's you
Yeah,
want to do
that's
that.
where I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think most junior high students probably don't want to be like alive either. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's
you
a
guys are
thing.
discounting the difficulty aspect that you actually have to do it, and can you make yourself do that?
Okay. So here's the question that you did. What's the consequence if you don't?
You die.
Oh,
You're murdered.
I could figure a way to kill
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
Then.
You're murdered.
Yeah. Then it's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
not that hard if you're gonna
I think
die.
like poison's pretty easy these days. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Poison.
Yeah.
plus you could give them
Where do you
Tide
get poison?
Pods.
Where do you get poison that would just easily kill somebody? Because it's not like you just sneak it into their food. Like you're always around this person.
Like isn't like every TV show always like they found like a plant in their
Breaking Bad?
backyard? Yeah. What did they use? The Lily of the Valley or something like
Ah,
that?
there you
Some
go.
kind of chemical.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so then here's an added question.
Yeah.
When you're picking this person, what do you
Base it
picture?
on?
Yeah. like are there certain
for which
races
one?
you wouldn't do it?
Oh. No.
It'd be for sure a white person, right?
Yeah, you'd have to do a white person just in case you got caught.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You know,
Like, it
So
has
you
to
don't
be the
wanna-
same as you,
don't
right?
want to know. You don't want anyone to think it was racially motivated.
Yeah,
So you have to do white.
You have
and
to go with
male.
someone whiter than you and richer than you.
Whiter and richer.
Yeah.
and richer.
Oh yeah, the person has
Make
to have
it a
money.
classist thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people will be
Yeah.
like kind
But
of
you know what?
cheering
If they're
for
richer, then they're gonna associate
harder
with.
to kill
They're
them.
like, and he saw the Joker. They're gonna associate with that, so then they're
Yeah.
gonna have that motivation. Nobody's gonna know that you were gonna die if you didn't do it.
No, you can't use that excuse.
Who's gonna kill you?
Who's gonna kill me?
Well, who's gonna kill you if you don't do it?
Thing? Just some guy. Yeah.
Do you know how
It
it's
was
gonna
like-
happen?
What's
Can we kill that guy? Does he count as a stranger?
There.
No, you know him now. He introduced
Damn
himself formally.
Why did they ask him
Formally-
his name?
Yeah. He said, "Hello, my name's." Yeah, you can't get me. Yeah.
That seems easy. Just kill
No.
the guy.
No, yeah, he's not a stranger though, because you know him intimately. Who is he though? I don't know. Nobody. Where'd my mouse go?
Why are
always
we assuming
assume-
it's a guy?
I always assume it's
It's a
like a
guy.
benevolent force or something like that.
Yeah.
Women are as savage as men. Not even a little bit. They
It's
wouldn't do some
I
kind
feel
of
like
weird would you rather
yeah,
game.
I feel like a woman would come up with that.
What do you
Kill a
mean?
person or cut your hand off.
Also, which hand? Do I get to choose which
Oh,
hand?
yeah.
Yeah, you get to choose which hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I just
'Cause
don't
I
think
actually-
I'd want to live
Can
with a
do you think
deformity
you could
like
cut
that.
off your right hand with your left? I don't think I could.
That's true. I think I'd have to cut
go
my left hand.
because I can't. You can't
Yeah.
get a good motion.
Yeah.
That'd be really hard.
It'd be brutal if you didn't get it
Yeah.
one swipe.
I think it would still be hard to get with one swipe.
I don't
Through
know. I
bone?
saw an ISIS video where they did it in one swipe.
Really?
Yeah. It was one fucking clean
You know,
thing.
prosthetics are pretty cool these days. Like you can
They
get
are.
a pretty
That's
cool
true.
robot hand.
That's
so that's
true.
So that's what I mean.
iRobot.
Well, how long until? Because legs, some of them are better. Some fake legs are better.
That's
than real
true,
legs.
actually.
So
A
how
fake
long
hand
until
might be.
you get a better hand?
Yeah. Or a sword.
Like 15 years?
Yeah,
like
it's
you got to live with it for 15
like
years?
Ash.
A full blade.
Like 15 years, and you didn't have to kill anyone. You just have to live with it for 15 years, not even your entire life.
Okay, I'm leaning more towards cutting off my left hand.
And it's left hand, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
I just burnt my right hand, and it's kind of annoying, but like, I'd rather, because I couldn't use it for like 3 days or two, like maybe 24 hours. Not even, actually.
Yeah, now you'll just
But
burn
more
your
at
left
night.
hand for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've had a knife through my hand before, and I've
That's true, I remember that.
almost cut off my finger, and like there's been many times I haven't been able to use my right hand. It's not that bad. It's,
You don't deserve a hand.
He was,
no,
yeah.
it's
The way
really
you treat it,
abused.
you're
100%.
stabbing it, you're cutting off fingers,
He
you're
almost
burning.
cut his
You don't
hand off
care.
from eating like a TV dinner on his bed.
No. I was playing with a Cartman doll. I was 12. I was playing with a Cartman doll.
No, weren't
I
you-
was taking the shirt of a Cartman doll. I
Yeah.
have no idea why. I guess I just didn't
Off?
like it. Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted him undressed.
Right.
Little Cartman turned me on at 12 years old, and I wanted to see him naked.
Oh.
And then I got bored halfway through, So I went to the washroom, and when I came back, I sat down, and the bounce perfectly jumped up. Like the bounce jumped up the knife, and I put my hand on it.
Yeah, that's what it
Just
was.
went right through.
I thought you were eating something.
Okay.
Because why was the knife there?
Because I was cutting the Cartman doll.
Oh, you were cutting the carpet.
I
Yeah,
was
I
gonna
was
say
cutting it
like
off.
South Park characters in general are pretty like rounded and soft, so I didn't know what you were gonna cut yourself on, but now the knife makes sense. Yeah.
He's taking off his shirt, and I do not know why. Like, why would that cross my mind? Like, this shirt's got to go.
Maybe he
I
just
don't
cared
know.
about his fashion choices.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
wears it too much.
Yeah,
Same outfit.
yeah. Anyway, we got our first famous person on our podcast.
Oh, can I ask my question first?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you get Twitter verified?
I
How does that happen?
What should I introduce myself first, or should we?
Oh,
just-
yeah,
no,
maybe we
no,
should-
You never introduced No. You're
Um,
famous. People know who you are.
Yeah.
They don't. It's very rare that anyone ever knows. I can count the number of times that people have ever recognized me
Yeah.
because of Twitter, but like I never consider it a fame or anything like that.
Right.
But well, my name's
Nick Ross, boss.
Nick
Boss
Ross.
Ross.
Yeah,
Boss Ross.
my Twitter is @NickBossRoss. I've
Oh.
been on there for it's got to be close to 8 years now or something like that. When I started, and me and Ian were talking about this. Spoiler alert:
Closer to
Ian and I
There we
worked
go.
together.
And we have a prior relationship.
Yeah.
Cute.
Which, as I joked about before, it's the reason I'm doing this podcast because he could fire me and I would be unemployed.
And you know what? He does have that smile on his face where he's like, he thinks that we think he's joking, but
Yeah.
he's laughing to himself that it's true.
Yeah.
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 I can see it.
I don't have the balls to fire anybody.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a lot longer breaks.
Yeah.
No, I started Twitter when I was first in university, and it was kind of the early days. So it was a lot nicer than it is nowadays. It was easier to get verified, but you still had to kind of prove yourself. Ian and I were talking about this, that you used to be able to, and how I did it, you could just send in a request to be verified. And it was just like a literal link where you would press it, you'd say what you do and why you want to be verified and send it in. And I remember when I first started, because I started writing when I was in university, like first year, I started writing with the website College Humor and Funny or Die. So I was doing,
really?
I was doing comedy articles for
Shit.
them. And that
What was your best article?
Do
you remember
the
it? The
biggest?
headline.
Well, the biggest one is one that doesn't hold up as well these days.
The
Nothing goes up.
Nazis did nothing wrong. Bad choice.
How bad was his science?
Yeah.
Hitler,
Really?
bad guy?
Yeah. Give me a break.
No, it was just are you in the friend zone?
Right.
And it was just basically a flow chart that showed you would answer different questions and you'd get down to the bottom and it
Yeah.
would tell you if you were in the friend zone, the end zone, or the there was one other, I think it was like the dead zone or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And
For the Sixth Sense fans.
yeah.
I think a lot of male feminists could be upset about this now, I think.
And
'Cause
I
they're all in the
don't
friend zone?
no, because people don't believe in it as much anymore.
Right.
So like it doesn't hold up in the sense of like modern appeal, but like it was the first thing where I wrote it myself. I taught myself Photoshop to make the flow chart. So
Right.
by the time I submitted it to College Humor, they didn't have to do any of the work. They were just like, yeah, sure, we'll post this up.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
it did super well. And
Good for
then
you.
on Twitter, I started like kind of making friends with the editors and some of the other writers and started kind of working the community. And I know Ian's been doing this like because he just kind of started getting into Twitter.
Yeah.
And one of the first things you really start doing is you start messaging people. You start like commenting on their jokes. And I started like making friends. And this was the day where like, I mean, at this point in Twitter, they had things like Follow Friday, where every Friday
Yeah.
you would recommend a bunch of people, and you would see like noticeable growth that you could actually recommend
Right.
people. Nowadays, people just are content with how many people they follow. They don't really want to do anything else. The only reason they'll follow people is if they can kind of advance their own careers in some way.
Right.
So like when we started Socialite 6 years ago, that's what I would do. I'd find 200 people and follow them like every whatever days,
Mm-hmm.
like 7 days, and then a good portion would follow back. But at the time, I think that's what happens is social media platforms, they get too many people.
Right.
Like you're following too many people, and
Yeah.
then you just can't keep up with your wall. I just noticed that Twitter has an algorithm now.
Yeah.
I don't know when they got that.
That was
Oh,
about
Instagram's bad for that.
like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Probably
It
around
probably
the same time as
feels
Instagram.
longer. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it started pushing the better engagement tweets up to the top
Yeah.
and lower engagement down to the bottom. I actually think nowadays I'm on the bad side of the algorithm because there were points where I would just take breaks off
Yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
and I wasn't posting as much, and they want you to be consistent.
Right.
They want you to be posting as
Right,
much as
right.
possible and seeing that engagement.
Yeah.
But, and then I can kind of get into this a bit later, but so I kind of made my Twitter based on comedy. It was all
Yeah.
jokes, and people would follow me for the jokes.
Yeah.
And nowadays, feel like I'm saying nowadays all the time. I feel like my grandpa,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Not
Sorry.
my day." Recently, because of politics taking over Twitter, you don't have as many jokes anymore. Everyone's making jokes about the same thing.
Yeah.
So like I used to make a joke about something dumb like mozzarella sticks or something like that. Now I feel bad making those types of jokes because they're bigger things that people are making
Right.
jokes about. So the feeling has changed on Twitter, but in that time, I managed to gain a good chunk of followers. When I submitted for verification, I didn't get it the first time. It wasn't until I started writing with a website that ended up laying off so many people. Now I can't even. Observer. They once I was actually doing like proper journalism, so I switched from comedy to writing about movies and television. I was able to kind of leverage that for my verification. And I said, like, all I said to them is I don't want people to be reading things that are by a Nick Ross and mistaking it for me or
Right.
vice
Right.
versa.
Makes sense.
Right, right.
And they gave me a check mark, and then it just never gone away.
Yeah.
Shit.
Do you think they'd ever remove it?
I don't know. I just saw someone tweeting about this today that they believe that the blue check marks just don't work anymore.
Right. What do you mean by
Because-
don't work?
Well, because some
they're not
people
legitimate?
Well, I think it's more so that they believe that the blue check marks don't actually distinguish you as an expert or verified in any way anymore, but that they should be a symbol that shows if someone on Twitter has been around for like at least a couple months, or like how many times they changed their names, to kind of show that, like, with how much like bots are a big problem on Twitter nowadays.
Yeah.
So to
That's
show
true.
that this account is new or fresh and doesn't actually like been on the site long enough, so you might not want to trust their opinion when it comes to things. And I'm like, that actually sounds like a better idea than
Like you have a historical
verification.
record, rather.
Yeah, something that shows that this person's been around.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, it would be interesting to see that there are accounts that like have just tweeted garbage
Yeah.
for like however long,
Right.
and then started
That makes
switching to
sense.
being like
They-
more Russia
They
focused
have
or
joined
something.
in like X, like, because I think mine's joined in 2011,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. But there's some accounts that have been like, joined since like 2012, but they have only tweeted twice, and
Right.
then all of a sudden now they've become
and then you can
activated.
sell accounts and stuff too.
Totally.
And yeah, like
Right.
like there's probably just tons of Russians who have just super old accounts.
Yeah. So nowadays,
sitting
like
there.
Twitter, I mean, it was really nice, and I've made like a lot of friends, and a lot of my writing opportunities have come from it.
Yeah.
So I still feel like I don't want to get rid of it, but every now and then I always consider like,
Why would you get rid of it?
Yeah.
What would be the reasoning? I actually feel like it's kind of resurging.
I think it is too. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I think it's just because it is this, like, I don't feel comfortable making the same joke anymore. Like,
Right.
even if I beat people to the punch and like
Yeah.
tweet the joke out first, I don't feel good about it because it's the same. It was an easy joke to make.
Right.
So
Right.
the
Yeah.
reason I used it was for that. But now recently I've been focusing more on my art and switched my account more to focus on that and self-promotion,
Yeah.
which is something I never did before. So
Right.
now I have like my own shop, and I post links to my new products
Yeah,
and
yeah.
my new drawing. And those 16,000 people followed me because they wanted jokes.
What's your
Right.
impression share generally of those 16,000?
Not good.
Do you know like a percentage basis?
Like maybe 300 or something like
300?
that
Really?
for like, well, I mean, I can pull out my phone right now and see like what my last tweet
Yeah, that'd be
hit.
interesting.
Okay.
Because I'm just wondering what the organic on Twitter is compared to like a Facebook. Because Facebook's probably around 2 or 3%.
But again, like it depends on also the algorithm.
Yeah.
Because there are some
Yeah.
things that will.
You get decent engagement though for I think even for someone with 16,000.
Okay, so my last tweet was impressions of 2,200.
Yeah.
2,200
so
people.
what is
Because I think
that?
10% is what they say for Instagram.
Yeah,
they
so
want
that-
to see you at
But
10%.
That's
14
about
people
14%?
engaged with it.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, and it's also like you get the sense that Twitter's algorithm or how they count impressions is very faulty.
Yeah.
Like it's like just throws up like your wall loaded with their thing there, but there's like thousands of them there, right? Because how
Yeah.
many load when you load in Twitter? How many are on that feed?
Oh, I mean, it depends on
Couple
if you're
hundred?
using like if you kept scrolling.
Yeah, like before it loads,
Oh,
or
I
before
see.
like because when you scroll, it starts.
I think
loading.
it's
Well,
probably-
and I always see the same people all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've noticed that the people you engage with, it's
Yeah,
very
I
very
see.
Which
highly
definitely does.
affected.
Like,
Yeah.
if I've DM'd with people before or like have tweeted at them,
Yeah.
they will get pushed up higher on my list. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter even like, and then there's also people, because you can turn on your settings to either see latest tweets
Yeah.
first or top tweets first. And some people never bother switching. So
Right.
they're only ever seeing the best tweets,
What's default?
top.
Okay,
So,
so ours yours top or did you switch it?
so I
mine's-
switched
mine's
mine
whatever's
to
default.
I
Latest?
don't know.
the latest.
Latest, I
Right.
think.
To see, because like that way
Oh,
you
no.
stay
Yeah.
up to date, but otherwise you're just seeing like the best tweet up at the top.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever changed that.
No. Well, I've had it since 2011, so I don't know if it's a new feature. I didn't use
Yeah.
it for like the last 5 years.
They
Right,
originally
same.
switched it back to only see top tweets first.
Right.
It was relative. It's maybe been a year since you were able to choose between one or the other.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
But I mean, algorithm.
But you can get a tweet that goes.
Yeah.
Like I had one that went off. Like for me at least.
Yeah, I had
the
one
Kanye
too.
one.
My Mark Norman one. Nick's heard all
Oh,
about
right.
it. 'cause
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
stoked on
And
it.
my Kanye one went off a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you can still hit stuff, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I think about Twitter is that Facebook doesn't have that same unless you're like really juicing it.
I mean,
Facebook does, I guess, with shares, but
it does work
Right.
with like you want to talk about something topical, which is
Right.
why
Yeah.
like
I
it
think-
is so many politics jokes or anything like
Right,
that.
it's a
yeah,
lot of politics.
I think the only way to do Twitter now is really unless you just want to talk into the void is to join conversations.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think there's really any other way unless you have a following already.
That's really all I have to. That's what I have. That's what I feel like I have to do now. Is
Yeah.
like go to the news feed, trending. And that's
Yeah,
where I
and
try to
put your 2 cents in.
Yeah, and that's
That's
what
it.
you.
It's just a lot of work. Like I don't really. The only ones I care about actually joining are writing
Mhm.
ones.
right.
That's all really. But how much?
Kanye
How many hits did you get from your Twitter to your podcast? Do you know? Like how did that? How is it doing for actually self promotion?
So that was, I think,
Is
maybe
it your main self promotion?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was like, so me and a friend here in Edmonton started a podcast called Watchful, and we did it as a movie podcast where each week I would watch a movie that my co-host Devin would recommend for me, and then she would watch a movie that I would recommend to her, and then we'd compare and contrast, and
Oh,
they would just be
nice.
completely random movies, but as long as either of us hadn't seen the movie that we were watching. And it was good, but I think that was when I started noticing my engagement dropping. Was when I started pushing the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think it was because I was pushing it too hard.
Right.
Because I
Right.
wanted people to get into it.
What
but
was
Right,
too
right,
hard?
right.
well,
Like
just
once a day or once a week?
Oh, this would have been like maybe because we were going weekly, so I would probably be like retweeting my own tweets about like every like 2 days, maybe twice.
Okay.
Oh, I guess that's once a day almost.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But it'd be like this, like we would put up a tweet about it on
Yeah.
the Monday about like what was the episode that was coming up.
Yeah.
And then the Tuesday we'd put out the episode. Wednesday we'd put out a reminder. Friday we'd put out like a final reminder, and then we'd
Right.
do that over and over again. And I'd be putting the iTunes link into there,
Yeah.
and I think it didn't help my engagement out.
Right.
Because this is another thing that they didn't they followed me for jokes, and this was a movie podcast.
Right.
So I think it always helps when you kind of are appealing to an audience that's catered for you. But like it didn't take off the way we hoped it would.
Right.
But one of the things, and you guys have already kind of fixed that, our biggest issue was that we didn't do guests.
Right.
And guests, because I'd been on like podcasts in the States before,
Yeah.
and like I have friends with very successful podcasts,
Yeah.
but they would have guests. So when they would get them on, they would then tweet out those links to their audience, and
Right.
it helps grow organically so much nicer than ours, where we're just trying to convince people to listen to
Right.
one person that they kind of know through Twitter
Yeah.
and one person they've never heard of before.
How's your co-host following?
Not as high.
Not as high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably I imagine too, which I think like I'm trying to do is have my Twitter more of like a personal branding rather than a product.
Yeah.
Right? So if people just followed you because you were a joke feed rather
Right.
than being you.
Which some people,
Yeah.
and what you should do for both like Twitter or Instagram, kind of segment your stuff. So like a lot of people create a secondary Instagram account just for their art or for their poetry
Right,
or
right,
right.
for whatever they're working
Right.
on. And I think that's better because at least then you're getting an audience that's dedicated to you.
Right,
So when I
okay.
post art on my Instagram, there are people that like my art, so they'll follow like that.
Yeah.
But then there's people that just like me more than my art. So I always
see.
see the different engagement kind of switching
yeah.
between the
Right.
two.
Okay. That makes sense.
So you're saying that you should build up a following on other platforms and use Twitter as just like your almost like personal.
What I've been doing is I've been doing it with Instagram mostly is let people know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So like I have a fitness company, but it's like a personal branding.
Yeah.
So I put everything on there. And so just people get it. So when people follow me, because they follow me because I'm me rather than, and then I could show them my products. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
rather than I'm just this feed that shows how to exercise or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like what I do. Like my whole Instagram is a mix, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realize I could probably get better luck just focusing on a solely art focused
Right.
one.
Right.
But I also don't care enough, which I really, for someone that cares a lot, I don't put that into my like the structure of what I'm actually doing.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
If you were to do a podcast again, what would you do differently?
Guess
Guess?
that would be the
Guess.
number one.
Yeah. Why didn't you just start doing guests on your podcast?
One was because, I mean, for how big my engagement is,
Yeah.
it's not big here in Canada. Like most of my followers are American or like international. So like for me, my Edmonton audience is like maybe a couple hundred.
Right.
But then that's compared to the thousands in the States.
Right.
So I have more, like none of my close personal
Yeah.
friends have Twitter. None of them, I've
Right.
never had that.
Right.
So like when
They don't think you're funny at all.
I mean,
Just have no idea.
there was a point where they thought it was cool that it had so many followers, but that was like in the first year.
Right.
And now they just kind of roll their eyes
Yeah.
at it. And they're also maybe not as supportive because they kind of feel like they don't need to be because I have other
Right.
people.
Right.
Right.
So I would, like, for me, I would love to have guests, but the people I would be catering to would
Right.
be people in the States. And I
Right.
knew I didn't want to do Skype
Right. Yeah.
interviews or anything like that because I feel like you lose a lot from staring at a screen in that delay and not
I don't
knowing
think
when
there's
to
any delay
speak.
anymore. So, because I watch Twitch, so Twitch has a lot of like political channels or political debate channels,
Yeah.
and they're all streamed in or Skyped in, right? And they
It
nothing
works
wrong with
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah, it works just fine. So I think even if you're different cities, you can set it up. You just got to figure out what the rig is, or
Yeah.
what. But and like the hard thing is, those are all regular people who are streamers, so they have a good rig, like setup. They know everything they need, and they have a regular
Yeah.
microphone. But it would be probably hard to get random people
Right.
to have an actual good setup that they sound good.
Plus, it's kind of nice, like when like my more successful podcast friends have guests on for their podcast.
Yeah.
They have a full setup. Like they
Yeah.
have a studio. They go to it. They know how to pull people in because it seems worthwhile for
Yeah.
it. Whereas if I were to be like, hey, do you want to like take the Skype call? I feel like I'd be hit or miss kind of each time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would be super impactful
Yeah.
on like the future of it.
Yeah.
I also wish, like, I know nothing about audio production, so I had to kind of teach myself the basics.
Yeah.
And even then, I made a lot of errors and like nothing. I know you guys have had problems with like audio too being lost or
Yeah, the first time.
it
Yeah.
sucks. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal.
Well, it just feels like you're like, oh, that was a waste of
sucks.
time.
especially that first episode, because like
Yeah.
it happened to us too.
We had a good conversation. I was stoked on that one too.
It was a good one.
Yeah. They've all been good ones. So they're like babies.
Yeah, I think so.
We recorded our first episode and we were like, that was great. Like, this could be something. And then we like press save, and I started listening to it, and I was like, this sounds off. And I realized it was because it wasn't recording through any of the microphones. It was recording through my laptop's microphone. So everything was echoey. It was just, I saw that the sound was working, but I didn't realize that it wasn't good sound.
Yeah. What was it? Was it episode 1.1 or 2 that we just used the phone?
I think that was
we
2.
lost the mic. 2? Yeah, because the 1.1 was okay, right? Or
Yeah,
no, 1.1 we shared the Yeti, and that was not great.
Oh, it was not great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so actually
yeah.
1.1 is
that wasn't great at all.
Yeah.
And it really does take like the wind out of your sails. Of like,
Yeah.
Oh,
wow,
it's
that was great. I can't believe like we did that. Like, it's so nice to be making something. Let's listen to it. And then you realize, oh, we just lost a full hour and a half.
That's the kind of thing that gives me anxiety that we use different equipment every time.
Yeah.
Because then you're never 100%, you don't
It's like a
100%
gamble.
believe in it.
Yeah.
So like we're just having SE
Well,
issues.
yeah, our next one we're just doing us two, and we're
Yeah.
gonna test out different ones and see.
Different microphones?
Yeah. I'm gonna get the Shure
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one sucked that we lost. I felt like it was really good. We talked about abortion.
For a long time. Should we revisit?
I mean, we can bring that back.
We
I
already
feel
have
like
the people with lists
audio
coming
like
after us.
killed itself. Like
Yeah.
it was like, no, people shouldn't listen to
Yeah, it
this.
aborted.
Deleted itself. Yeah, I would like. I get so envious of like some friends that they don't have to do anything for their podcast.
Right.
They just show up to a studio, they sit down, they get to talk to people, they get
Yeah.
up and leave, and
Yeah.
then someone
That's
else.
our end goal.
They're just a talent, right?
Yeah.
And they just
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
down and do it.
That
Yeah.
would be like my
Just
most
be a-
ideal scenario.
Yeah, just be the personality, right?
I had an idea though. You were in here. I was like, I'm gonna not fake say, but real say. We got a Red Bull sponsor, and then I'm gonna keep doing this as a bit. We got a Red Bull sponsor every time until
we
Red
get in
Bull
trouble?
pays us money.
I don't know if it works
But
like
I was
that.
like, well, I'll tell them they should give me $500 in perpetuity, so for life, right? So if we if we blow up, it's actually a really good deal for them. It's a really good deal for us at the beginning, but as we get bigger, it'll be a really good deal for them. $500 is nothing. I bet you a random manager there could do $500. You know?
Just
Yeah,
give
probably.
that approval and just send you the money.
sure. Was that $2,000 a month? I guess it's like one employee.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Say you listened to. How long did you listen to the last episode?
I think I had like only 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left. Oh, good episode, eh?
Oh, miss the politics.
What was that? Yeah, 10 minutes
was like
left.
4
the election,
minutes
right?
left.
Yeah. What would
I
you?
don't think you guys got into politics.
No, no,
We
'cause
left
we
it for the
canceled
end.
it. No, I mean, like I said, okay, that's
Yeah,
it, and I
and
had
then we
canceled
didn't
it,
do it.
and then Tyler was like, let's.
We gotta
we're
do a
not gonna talk
trending
about.
topic.
We're not gonna talk about Canadian election. I was like, okay, but Kaylin did specifically say no politics. But
Oh.
we'll go for it.
That was her request. I didn't know I could like.
Yeah,
do
I
that.
didn't know it was a request.
But
when
then I was
asked
like,
for it.
okay, Kaylin, go. What do you think about politics? What did you think?
It was good.
What's your live feedback?
First off, like we didn't do YouTube at all.
What's your movie review?
Uh,
Movie length of the
like
podcast.
do a full 5 stars.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. Like, you think you guys had like a nice natural
Yeah.
flow. I mean, I know Ian, Ty, you aren't as close with either of them, right?
No, like I know them from before, but not
Yeah.
close like
Yeah.
you.
But I think it was like pretty natural, and
Yeah.
I think you guys had. I really liked hearing you guys talk about the Joker versus Midsummer.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I like that kind of friction.
Yeah.
That was another thing
yeah.
that I wish that my own podcast had, because me and my friend Devin were a bit too agreeable a lot of the times, where you kind of want that friction.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want
do.
Plant some friction.
That's
in
why
there.
we're good because
Yeah.
we
disagree.
Like, I feel like,
We
but I don't
disagree
know if
subtly.
we actually
No, we disagree subtly,
I
very
feel
small.
like we just. Oh, that's your opinion. Well, I'm gonna have the other opinion.
Yeah.
We'll just argue.
Yeah, it's
planting
sometimes
that
nice.
friction. You gotta plant that friction.
No matter what you say, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
disagree.
Some people
Yeah.
make podcasts all about that friction.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, you're a movie guy. Did you like the Joker?
I did not.
What if we just every
Interesting.
single episode we talk
Just
about the
ask the
Joker,
Joker.
forever?
Yeah.
What do you think of the Joker? It's like 2024. You're like, I haven't heard of it.
What did you like about it?
I mean, it's easier to say what I liked about it.
Oh.
I liked
small list.
friction.
I liked Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
I just think that
Yeah,
he's he is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I do think the cinematography was very good.
Right.
I really liked the costume design. I think that Joker look is like maybe the best Joker look.
I liked it, except I didn't like the eyes thing.
Okay.
What was the eye thing?
It was like a diamond. I didn't like
What do you mean a diamond? He had a diamond eye?
Yeah, he had like this diamond around his eye. Or a blue
Really?
diamond or something like that.
Oh,
I didn't like it. I
very
like
clowny.
circles.
Yeah, I think like he looked great.
Yeah.
But I think that the movie had very little to say. It kind of started off conversations with a lot of things like,
Right.
oh, this could be about mental health, or this could be about like this like social class and welfare, and then it didn't actually find an ending to any of those arguments. It kind of left it way too open.
I think Danielle didn't say it on the air, but I think she had similar arguments where
Yeah, I
it
think so.
tried to say a lot, but actually didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I think she said that it failed to say something that
Meaningful,
she thinks
yeah.
it was trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really,
I don't know.
I loved the.
What did you think it was trying to say that it did say? If that mattered at all.
It didn't matter too much to me because like a lot of people jumped on like the mental health thing
Yeah.
and like like what's going on with society now.
Yeah.
I felt like this was the Joker story anyway. He was like an anarchist anyway.
Right.
Like this was what it was going to be regardless of what political climate we're in.
Right.
So I didn't put too much on that. I thought it was going to be that anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's a Joker.
Yeah, like that's what
Yeah.
it was going to be. So I didn't put too much into that.
He's running around with big bombs in the 60s.
Which actually, like that, I said in one of my reviews that I missed like the chattering teeth bombs.
Right.
Like,
Right,
I kind of
right,
missed
right,
having
right.
a little bit of fun.
Right.
But
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Jared Leto one?
yeah.
There's a chattering teeth bomb in Jared Leto's Joker.
like silly.
That he had disturbed on his forehead, which is like you can't be a badass with disturbed on your. Is it disturbed?
Grills.
Is it disturbed or is it
It wasn't broken. It was damaged.
damaged?
Yeah.
damaged.
Very emo. You're not a gangster if you're emo. And Joker's in some level like psychotically
Yeah.
gangster.
I just think that there was like some small things I could have tweaked. Like I think when he sits down for his therapy session right at the beginning, there's a line that could have just been easily changed, but they went with the better sounding line instead of the one that made more sense. So she says like, how have you been doing? And he says to her that he finds that he was better off sitting in his padded cell than talking to her. So it showed that the therapy was not working already.
Right.
And then when partway through the movie, when the services are cut by the wealthy, which then they could have easily gone into like, this is why you shouldn't cut mental health services or anything like that.
Right.
Jason
When she
Kennedy.
loses her job,
You're gonna create the Joker.
it didn't change anything because he also didn't like therapy already. It almost would have been
Right,
better
right.
if therapy was a form of support
And
for
then
him,
it was taken away from him.
and then it was taken away from him, because then you get to see a man that actually is losing all of his support systems. He had his mother, and then he loses her. He had his therapist, and then he loses her.
What was her mother? What was his
but-
mother like?
So, but just on that topic,
It's very
so what
psycho.
What if what they wanted was? Because what I like about the Joker, and I thought Heath Ledger did a really good job, is you didn't really know what he wanted.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like
Because this is the whole point
he
of Joker.
wants
was
this
like-
and he doesn't want this, and
Isn't
you don't
that
know
the
what he
point
wants.
of Joker? Is he doesn't
Yeah.
want anything. He
Yeah.
just literally wants.
So maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was
he
supposed
says that.
to.
He says that in the Dark Knight. He just wants to see the world turn upside
Yeah, yeah.
down. Yeah.
And then he has
Or
like
burn
a
down or
couple
something.
different stories about how he got his scars.
'Cause he
Like you don't know anything
doesn't
about him.
give a fuck. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that I think worked, and that's why
Right,
this
right.
movie felt a bit strange, because they were trying to give a story
Right.
to the
Oh,
Joker,
yeah, yeah.
I see.
and by giving him that structure of a character,
Right.
they it made
away
me
the
realize
chaos.
that it was completely separate from Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
Because that's no one ever complains that they wish that they needed to know more about
Right.
Heath Ledger's Joker, because
Right.
he is just chaos.
Yeah.
Technically, it doesn't even need to be Joker in that role.
Right.
It just needs to be someone that no one understands why they're doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
This one, they were trying to show this is the why the Joker is the way he is. This is why he laughs, because he was abused earlier and he developed an issue where he now uncontrollable laughs. And like, they could have dug into that. Like,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
could have shown like, again, his support system as an early child was also damaged, and like every time he tried to climb his way up, he got shut down by the system. So he then therefore wanted to watch the system burn.
Right.
Right.
And that's why like they made Thomas Wayne the villain, to show that, you know, the people in power are the real villains.
Right.
But then it didn't matter in the end, because like he didn't shoot Thomas Wayne, which I almost kind of wish he did. Like,
Right.
that almost would have made more sense. That's kind of spoilers, but I think people have seen
Yeah,
it.
we'll have to
I
put
have
spoilers.
not.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, without seeing it, I think that sounds like a very legitimate reason to dislike the Joker. That they're given reasons for why the Joker exists, but that's not who the Joker is. He's a chaotic character that has.
But I do wonder if like, because I grant all that. Like that's you obviously look at.
You've been granted.
movies. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just so you know.
This was great. Thank you.
You're excused. No, but like I wonder if just the timing of the movie also people
Totally.
are looking at. Like I wonder if this movie was made 10, 15 years ago, if it gets the same kind of like you're gonna look at all these little aspects.
Yeah, I mean, I think also
I
especially
feel like when it was
because
coming out, people wanted to not like it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the feeling is you just didn't. It wasn't
Like,
there
it
was
was
no gap. There's no gap for a new Joker.
A lot of people didn't want to like it. There was a lot of complaining about it, and before it was even out.
Yeah,
I think one thing was that the biggest thing and the thing that people talk about the most is would it incite violence in people,
Right.
which is fair, and that is a current political climate thing. But when I first saw that first trailer, I liked the first trailer for Joker more than the movie itself.
When you didn't
had,
know anything.
Yeah, it had all the glamour and the cinematography that I liked.
Right.
It had the reveal and the costume design, and
Yeah.
you got excited for
Yeah.
it.
Right.
The second trailer started adding more of like what the movie was going to be about, and that was losing it for me. But like I'm a huge comic book fan, so like I go into these things and I keep my fingers crossed, and I always kind of hope that I'm like pleasantly surprised with a lot of these.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get into fights with friends all the time. Like they really liked Shazam, and I just couldn't get like
Right.
enjoy it. I think the Joker, it's tough when you are competing against like people always say like Heath Ledger, and it's true, but like Jack Nicholson did a great job too, and like
Yeah.
there
Well,
are
people
so
were
many
saying that
good-
about Heath Ledger, right?
Totally,
Yeah.
they were nervous about him, and
Yeah.
they
Well, I remember-
always surprised people.
I remember seeing like the rage for Heath Ledger playing the Joker before it came out.
Yeah.
Like so many people.
Yeah.
But like I didn't care for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, a lot of
And
people did.
when I first saw the trailers, I also wasn't excited for it.
Right.
And it seemed like they were also picking the favorite characters of like the flavors of the week. And
Yeah.
that was more of my hesitation with this, where I was nervous, but I love Joaquin, and I felt like he would not pick a project that wasn't going to be good,
Right.
that he wasn't going to be committed to. And I do think he did great, but like I don't think like I think I wouldn't turn my nose up against Joaquin getting a best actor nomination. Don't think he should necessarily win it,
Joaquin,
but
I think he's an interesting actor because I think which just made me think of this, but his choices in roles, he doesn't often consider the movie as a whole. I think he only and this is obviously I'm making this up. I have no idea what he does in his process of picking his movies, but it seems like
he's
he
your
just
guys'
picks-
next guest,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We're moving on up, but his choice seems to be like very focused on the role, not the movie as a whole.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
he's looking for good roles, not
Yeah.
good movies.
Yeah,
Which is interesting.
Yeah, and that's a fair point because I think like for me, when I watched it and you hear all the backlash it's getting before it even was coming out, I felt like this is a really bad time to even try to make this movie, and they made it anyway, and a lot of people liked it. I've heard like people didn't like it. Clearly, the last two people that were on the podcast didn't like it that I was on.
But this was the other thing is like
was a really
the
hard
Joker
movie to
first
make.
premiered at Venice Film Festival several months ago, and it got a 8-minute standing ovation.
Yeah, that's what I
and
heard.
so that was the first time anyone had seen it, and all that Twitter was talking about was, "Wow, this movie is going to be big."
Right.
And then you saw some people going the other way of like getting ready to talk about like how great this movie was.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the first early reviews were coming out, and it was a lot of this movie doesn't have a lot to say. It's all show, no tell, and people started getting hesitant again. But even when like people started seeing it regularly, I think the New Yorker wrote a full piece about like how beautiful the movie it is, and that it is timely, and it like needs to be timely, and that like the opening scene was a parallel to the Central Park 5, and they were like filling in a lot of blanks that people didn't consider. So I think it's very polarizing, and
yeah.
I think it almost needed to come out at this time, because otherwise I don't know, it might have not had that same
I don't think it
appeal.
would have been as successful
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah, for
also, I
sure.
think a lot of people have gone to see it because it is so mixed. I have two sisters, one that liked it, one that did not.
Yeah.
And
One that's dead to me.
I'll let you choose
Well,
which
I-
one.
You know, I think it was a really hard movie to make, and
You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna watch it next Tuesday, and
Yeah.
we'll never talk about the Joker again. But we're gonna talk about it one more time.
yeah, we'll talk about it one more
So
time.
I'm gonna have to watch it now and then make my own decision that's
Yeah.
based off everybody else's decision and pretend I watched it.
One thing I'll agree with, and I said this, and I agreed with on the last podcast, is that the one scene that I didn't like about it was this where it all led up to where he shot, where he went on the.
On the Murray show?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like
I didn't like that scene.
Yeah.
The
It
entire.
felt weird. I felt like he was a different guy sitting there, and he had this weird like. I didn't like that scene.
It's
as
funny
much.
because this is one of the only scenes I
That
like.
you liked? I
Yeah,
see. I
I
didn't
know.
like it. I thought it was like he had this personality through the whole movie, and then when he was on the show, it
It's
was like he was
totally
different.
unjustified.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right, and
Which I guess I can see why you would like it.
Because you like
feel-
that different.
Well, because
feeling?
there's
Yeah.
one particular thing I liked about that entire scene. First off, the set design is beautiful and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looks great with
Yeah.
the Joker costume there. But
Robert
the
De
way-
Niro play the.
yeah,
Yeah.
So he played Murray, and for whatever reason, Joaquin Phoenix chose to say his name as Murray the entire time, and so he'd just be like, "Oh, don't you know Murray?" And it was such a bold choice, and I was sitting there in the theater going, "Why is he doing this?" But I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
But it
Fair enough.
doesn't make
It was very
sense.
weird.
It's funny because when I know from like writing ideas, or when I think of an idea in a story, I get very excited, and it usually happens late at night or just a random time, and I can just think of him going, like, trying to go to sleep and be like, Murray. That's it. That's the choice. I've got it.
Yeah, it's this weird arrogance that he gets on, and like it's completely different than what he. And I think they're trying to show that he's now the Joker. He's no
Yeah, yeah.
longer Arthur.
Yeah.
But there was no middle state.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
felt like he blended into it, and that was the other thing.
Like even from the dressing room, it like, and then he went on.
It's
Like one
a
of my favorite
completely
scenes is when he's
flip.
dancing as the thing's coming up. So it's
Yeah.
But then when he was on there, his like emotion and the way he was, it just felt off.
There's like a lot of jumps like that, and I'm trying to be hesitant with since Ian hasn't seen the
Actually,
movie.
maybe we should stop talking about it. But
Oh,
you
yeah,
just come
well,
back on the next
yeah,
one.
no, we'll have the final episode of the Joker arc next week.
I'll be the only one
Season
that's-
finale of the Joker arc.
Man.
Did you get though the like Kings of Comedy or Taxi Driver references? Did you feel it?
I never saw King of Comedy.
Yeah.
I think it was right. Yeah. I never saw
Kings
it.
of Comedy, I think, is a stand-up special with a variety of African American comedians.
That sounds about right.
I don't know what the race has anything to do with this. Sir.
But I
It
know
does actually. If you watch the special,
I know.
it has a lot to do with it.
I know that was like the biggest influence.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
can't say anything about that besides the fact that it was Robert De Niro.
Robert De
and
Niro
it
plays
seems-
the
yeah.
Joker-ish character. Yeah.
It seems very spot on.
Yeah.
As for Taxi Driver, it really only had, I think
Like, is he a bit of a Travis Bickle character?
the
not really.
the
No?
interview speech at the end is kind of like it's his like talking about like the prostitutes on the streets and
Right,
like that
which there
New
is
York
a
is
speech,
different.
right? There is a Travis Bickle speech. for
That's
prostitutes.
kind of like it. There is a scene where I think the most related one is when he first gets a gun.
right.
It's the same feeling as like when
Yeah, yeah.
he's kind
You're
of
like, oh,
doing
Sure.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you looking at me? You
And
looking at
it's-
me?
That was going to be the one scene that I also do not like because it doesn't make sense that seems unspoilery enough. When he gets the gun, he hasn't killed anyone. And he's already getting very comfortable with the gun. So and I won't say if he does kill anyone,
I think you guys already did.
if he kills anyone going forward, it's a little bit premeditated because he's at least considered holding the gun and like shooting it at people before. Like he kind of makes those threats, and now when he does shoot someone, you're like, oh, well, you were kind of already getting comfortable with this idea. I kind of wanted him to be a bit more sympathetic of like he was pushed to using the gun, but he never wanted to use it. Like he was trying to still keep order but it was the system, the people around him that pushed him to kill or to use that weapon.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that's
it just felt like, he's practiced it once and then he got to use it once.
I like the way I viewed it is like that's fair. I just viewed it as every time I felt like just every scene you can see him turning to a different person, and it was just watching this guy turn into a different person. Just every scene he's like, that's weird, that's weird, that's weird. And so I didn't think of anything like that.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I want that blend though. I want to feel that change, especially with an origin story, because otherwise, if it's clunky like that,
You get the Game of Thrones shit.
yeah, character development in the next episode, and you're like, well, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Let's do a top 5 because we've had an argument about for Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
What's your Tarantino top 5?
I always say number 1 is Reservoir Dogs.
Oh yes. You lose.
I don't lose. It's
You
not,
lose.
it's not a poll.
No, he's Twitter verified.
I love heists, and I think
I did say if you're ever going to switch Pulp Fiction out to number 1, the only way you can switch it is with Reservoir Dogs.
I remember you saying because I didn't pick Pulp Fiction number 1.
It validates your opinion.
Yeah.
But there are some caveats, and that's one caveat is you can go Reservoir Dogs.
Okay, would you put?
But
Pulp
I
Fiction
think what
number
happens is you don't put Pulp Fiction number 2.
Because he won't put Pulp Fiction.
no,
number 2.
I think I might.
I don't see how you couldn't.
He's doing it because he's your friend, and he doesn't want to get fired. He's
Yeah,
already
I
made that
don't
clear.
want to get fired. I've seen every movie except for Jackie Brown.
Okay.
That's the only one I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
great.
weird because like
Jackie Brown's in my top 5.
Yeah, I haven't.
Is it in your top 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, which brings your opinion almost back. It validates your opinion a little bit.
I'd say I'd probably say Pulp Fiction number 2. Then I'd say.
So I think I'm okay with changing those up. But, Pulp Fiction's
It's weird.
objectively
now
better.
You're here. He's okay with it.
Objectively, but talking to the mic.
Whoops.
Objectively better, but
It's better.
you guys can be objectively wrong.
But again, we talked about this while he's thinking.
yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
What is it
didn't-
about Reservoir Dogs? What is it?
No,
tell me.
because Reservoir Dogs was the
Gratuitous
first one I
violence,
watched.
right? Is that what you said? Too much gratuitous violence? That was your
No.
reasoning. No?
No,
Someone
no,
else
no.
must
The
have
reason
told me that.
Pulp Fiction didn't hit for me because I didn't watch Pulp Fiction. I knew
Oh,
all
right.
the
Yeah,
shit
yeah. We did talk
that was
about
already going on
Yeah.
with Pulp Fiction because
You
it
didn't
was
get there was no
culture.
surprises.
yeah,
right?
like it didn't
This
hit
wasn't
for
new
me.
to you.
So
yeah.
it just Reservoir Dogs was like fuck.
So you could admit that if it was new, it would be
No, it
better.
would be number one.
Which that's why I think I'd probably pick Kill Bill as my 3rd because that was also my first Tarantino movie I ever saw.
that's fair.
So I always take that into consideration.
Yeah, so that's interesting. The first Tarantino movies maybe shifts it because that was my 3rd I ever saw. Maybe 4th because I think I saw Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
I probably did because when I was younger, I'd
Can
go
we
through
include
every.
Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
the other one
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
not seen.
Yeah,
But he only wrote that, right? He didn't direct
and he was in it.
just
yeah,
for
but-
Selma Hayek's breasts. Is that why? Is it Selma Hayek?
I think so.
It's one of those two Spanish
I
women.
think it's a body double though. I don't think it's a real breast.
You don't think it's a real tits?
No.
It's actually Quentin Tarantino in a suit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but I think so. I think I saw Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, and then I saw Kill Bill, and I did not like Kill Bill because if you go with those 3, those are just straightforward like stylistic movies.
Yeah.
Stylistically, Pulp Fiction is not different. It's just told in a different order, but there's no Tarantino style. I don't think of it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he either has super ultra flash violence or
Yeah.
he has people hanging around talking.
Yeah, and so those
that's true.
3 are the hang around talking, and that's why I love Tarantino.
Yeah,
and then
me
Kill
too.
Bill goes super flashy, where he's pulling from all these Eastern movies, and he's
Yep.
being super flashy. And I just don't. I wanted the slow talking, the slow burn that I love Tarantino for.
Hateful Eight.
No, I read the script before I ever saw it, and I might have ruined it for
Oh,
me.
you
But
told me
also,
that.
people say they don't like it, so
I liked Hateful Eight.
I thought it was good.
I think most people put it around the
I've
last.
never not really liked or not liked his
Yeah,
movies.
dislikes is the word.
Yes. I also write. I'd say
True
that
Romance? Is that in there?
True Romance is written, I think, too.
I
Only written?
think so. I think
Yeah.
it's written.
Yeah.
Then I'd say Reservoir Dogs,
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill. Then I'd probably say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Oh, we
which
gotta
I
talk about
thought
this.
was
Yeah. We put
Just-
it near the end, right?
Yeah, I put it near
I didn't
the
put
end.
it near the end, but I put it like 7th,
Interesting.
which is what? How many movies do you have? 10?
Sure. Somewhere.
Oh no,
around
he
there.
has 9.
Yeah.
because he's going for the 10th.
Yeah.
But I probably put it maybe 6.
Oh,
'cause
interesting.
does
That's
he
another
count-
It was
movie that's
stylish.
like
It
Does
was
he count Kill
nice.
Bill as 1 or 2 movies?
Kill Bill.
Yeah, does he count him as 1 or 2 in his 10?
Oh, I don't know. Do you think that like if he counts it as like
I
some
feel,
of the
I feel
whole?
like he counts it as a 1 movie, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. Look it up.
Once Upon a Time, I think I told you this was a return to that slow
Yeah.
burn,
Yeah.
but it wasn't enough conversation. It was very flat on a one-way conversation.
I think I just really like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt carry that movie for me, and I
Yeah.
hope both
Yeah.
of them get nominated. I want the screenplay nominated.
Yeah.
There are some dry bits to the story.
Yeah.
I hate that Leo flying to Italy voiceover where they
Right.
just tell you everything that's
Right,
happened in like
yeah.
the next 5
Yeah.
years. But then I think like the end is very wild and crazy, and
Yeah.
it
I
was
enjoyed
fun.
the end a lot.
Let me ask you this, because I was having an argument with someone else the other day. The
This is how you like
Not
start
me.
every
Yeah,
sentence.
yeah.
So I was arguing with this person the other day.
Yeah. But Bruce Lee, the scene with Bruce Lee, is it imagined or did it happen?
Well, I think Joe Rogan was talking about this, wasn't he? Are you? Wait,
don't
what do
know.
you mean imagined?
So the scene, he goes to work on a set.
Yeah.
Right. What's his
Yeah.
name?
Cliff Booth.
Cliff.
Yeah.
Cliff goes to work on a set, and he's told he cannot work on the set. Then he leaves, and he's on the roof, and then it jumps to the scene with Bruce Lee, and he has a fight with Bruce Lee.
So you think?
Is that scene imagined, or is it a flashback?
I think it's a flashback. That's what I took from it.
I first thought it was imagined.
Right.
Like this is the story that how it would happen.
Right.
Where he ended up thinking that he would fight
Yeah,
Bruce
yeah,
Lee.
yeah.
But I think, and I think I talked to a friend about this too. They also firmly believed that it had happened.
Yeah.
And it was just showing the justification
Yeah.
of why he couldn't go into work that day.
Yeah, that's my take. I got an argument with Colin. Shout out Colin, and he was adamant.
Rock climber, Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was adamant that it was a dream, and I was like, no, but because there's the Quentin Tarantino did a talk, and he was saying like people were arguing and saying how well Cliff couldn't beat up Bruce Lee, and he was like, well, yeah, it's like saying could Dracula beat up Superman? Like, yeah, if you write it, it doesn't fucking matter. It's
Yeah.
fictional.
Yeah.
If you write
Especially
it,
since
you can
this
say
is like a fictional story.
Yeah,
So
Cliff's
like
a fictional
why
character. He can
not?
beat up anyone I tell him he can beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a stupid question, but that also says that happened. That really
Yeah, yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Right?
He didn't
in the
really-
fictional
yeah,
universe.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
it wasn't a
Yeah, yeah.
dream.
Yeah.
But
Anyways, number 5 is Inglourious Bastards.
yeah, that's my number 5. That's my number 5. Wait, what's my number 4? Did I say that?
I like Django Unchained a lot.
I think it goes Django. Actually, I think it goes Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained. For me.
I think I have it the other way around.
I like Django a lot. I
Except-
love that soundtrack so much.
But out of the two movies, Inglourious Basterds has my favorite scene out of all.
With
Tarantino
Christoph
movies.
Waltz.
Which one?
With Christoph Waltz when
Nope.
That's a bingo?
The bar scene
oh okay.
where I first fell in love with Michael Fassbender, and I was like, I need to know who this guy is. That scene where he goes down to the bar. They first introduce him. He's down at the bar, and they play the game.
Mm-hmm.
That is my favorite scene I've ever seen in a Tarantino movie.
It is
I
a good
loved it.
scene
I loved it.
where they do the
The game.
game. I guess
Yeah,
game.
yeah. And then the shootout happens.
You know what I was doing? Because I was thinking about other directors that are good for top 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Scorsese, very tough.
Ooh.
Very tough to pick top 5 because there was like, oh yeah,
He has
I
a lot
forgot
of
this one.
bad movies, doesn't he?
I haven't seen enough.
Okay, let's go. What's his worst movie? What's his worst movie? You
the
haven't seen
one-
enough?
No.
The one. okay,
Never
did-
seen Raging Bull.
Really?
Never saw Casino.
What?
What?
That's crazy. No, Casino.
Goodfellas.
Did you ever say this on your
Never
podcast?
seen.
'Cause that may be why you didn't.
Why
get it.
my movie
What?
podcast didn't
You didn't see
fit- fail.
Goodfellas or Casino?
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
You would think you would have touched those in the beginning of your podcast.
Like one of the
when it was-
first
Wow.
times I actually really ever heard of Martin Scorsese was he plays a version of himself in the DreamWorks animated comedy Shark Tale. And I just knew him as a fast talking guy.
Yeah.
That was it.
Who's your top 3 directors? Writers, directors?
Yeah. Because maybe we'll go for one you have seen.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I would say.
I know what mine is.
Ooh.
If anybody cares.
Well, this is the issue because like some of my top movies aren't necessarily my favorite directors either. So I'm thinking like
No, but you got to think of like
Yeah,
totality.
those are separate. So you can say favorite movies, and then you can say
No, but
because you're right. You got to
I'd
think
say
of totality.
maybe like
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I'd say
YTT.
Yeah, Taika Waititi's really high up on there.
He's really good. He's
so
going
good.
up mine.
He's so good.
He's so
I've
good.
seen everything except for.
I can't wait to see this Hitler one.
Yeah, Jojo Rabbit
Yeah.
comes out this weekend.
Yeah.
Gonna
You know
get
what
to
though?
see
You
it on
know what
Saturday.
I'm feeling? I'm feeling he's going a bit stylized, like almost overly stylized. When it's earlier stuff, like Boy, incredible.
Totally. Now he's considered a visionary director,
Right.
Which
Might fuck
I'm
him over.
fine with. Like I prefer a lot of directors as their visionary forms than like.
What do you
when
mean by
they
visionary? What does that mean?
Like Zack Snyder used to call himself a visionary director, where it was like,
Zack Snyder's 300.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
you really dropped off.
you
a
would have
cliff
his,
after that one.
You would see his style in that movie.
You
Right.
could tell, like Guy Ritchie.
yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then you have
Golden
then you start
brown.
seeing him start switch away from his style. Like Sherlock was
Yeah.
not very much like Guy Ritchie.
His
Right.
last one, Aladdin,
Yeah.
was like
He did
I didn't
Aladdin?
Even, yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know. You couldn't even tell.
oh,
But
poor
then I
Guy
also
Ritchie.
like his new one.
He was in my top 3. He's fallen off because he hasn't.
Is he
made a good
still?
movie. No, probably not now.
Okay,
But
so
he
it-
was.
So we got Taiki.
Okay, Taiki.
Waititi?
Taika Waititi.
Taiko? How do you
Taika.
Yeah, because it's AI, isn't it?
Taika.
Yeah.
Taika.
Okay.
I just say the gay vampire. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, he's not gay.
Iago.
No, I know, but he seemed
Yeah,
like
he,
but he
has
could
a
be.
romance in
Yeah.
the movie
Yeah.
with an old woman.
Yeah. Number 2.
Maybe I really like is it Alexander Garland?
Who's
Is that the director of Ex Machina
Yeah.
and Annihilation?
Yeah.
Did you like Annihilation?
I really did.
Did you?
That's
I thought it
that's
started
a
off very
mixed
strong.
movie.
Yeah, I
It
didn't
really
like that
dropped
one.
off.
A lot of people hate
I like
that
the
ending.
other one, Ex Machina, but
Yeah, I just think I loved both of
Ex
those
Machina
so
was
much.
incredible. I
Yeah.
really liked Ex Machina.
the
You know what's really
Annihilation.
good? The Annihilation OST, really good.
I love it.
Fantastic.
It's
I
like,
listen to it writing a lot.
I started collecting like a lot of like soundtrack vinyls, and
Oh, nice.
that's one I just repeatedly listen to because it's this weird mix of like kind of folksy music
Yeah.
like,
Right.
from the first half of the movie
Yeah.
to you can start hearing the music start shifting to this sci-fi element,
Right.
and I think like it mutates with the movie, which is just beautiful.
Okay.
And third, now see, this is the difficult part because I want to say like someone like Steven Spielberg because like I loved Jurassic Park, like I liked E.T., like
Right.
there's so much history to him, but these days I don't care enough about him.
See,
Yeah.
because it's in totality, so you can.
Or like
interesting.
George
Directors-
Lucas, too.
Directors start missing. It's very strange. A lot of directors just start falling off and just having a weird. And I wonder if it's like, at some point, some directors like mid-level directors or Steven Spielberg, it gets too big or like too lofty, and there's too many people on it and too big
But
studios.
Spielberg like started off really big, right?
I mean, yeah, he was,
But
but
he's like Jurassic Park.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's already hitting blockbusters out of the park.
yeah.
Wes Anderson.
I love Wes
Is
Anderson.
he falling off for you?
I'm very white, so I mean, it makes sense.
What's his last movie?
Isle of Dogs.
Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, fell off.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I don't
Dogs,
like his
didn't-
animation ones.
Oh,
I don't,
see,
I don't
Fantastic
mind.
I didn't
Mr.
like-
Fox is my
I actually like
favorite.
Fantastic
Really?
Mr. Fox,
It's my
but it would be
favorite
one
Wes
of my
Anderson.
least favorites.
It's my least.
But
one
did
of
he
my
fall
least
off? I don't think he fell off. It's just Isle of Dogs I didn't really care for. That's all.
favorites. Because the one before that was really good.
Yeah. That was a hotel.
Grand Budapest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brent. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
it's
before
top
that
five.
was
Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah,
Moonrise- and
which
that was
I love
fantastic.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think he fell off. I just didn't like
No.
Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, I didn't like.
And
Isle of
Fantastic
Dogs.
Mr. Fox before I liked, but it was one of my least favorite.
Yeah, I'm not into his animation ones.
Yeah. Well, who's your top 3 then?
Well, he didn't say his third.
No, you did.
I mean, I
You
said.
said, "Oh, you're okay."
I
you're,
said
you're,
Wes Anderson.
Oh, you know what?
Feeling
If-
out Steven
Actually, no. If I'm
Spielberg,
going to
sure.
say Spielberg and I'm going to go with someone that's classic, I'm just going to overwrite him and say Stanley Kubrick.
Okay.
Instead.
Okay,
that's
let's
fair.
We'll come back to Stanley Kubrick because I actually had him in my top 5. Like
who's your top
to
three?
say his top 5 movies,
Who's your
which I
top
think is
three?
a good question. Mine is Charlie Kaufman.
Good one.
Wait,
That's hands down my favorite. I think he's
tell me like a couple movies.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So he wrote these. So Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
Okay.
Being John Malkovich.
Oh, okay. That was like that's been your favorite movie of yours for a long ass time.
No, Being John Malkovich probably top 10,
Oh, okay.
but not it hasn't been hit. It's not in the top 5. I don't think.
I remember you talking about it.
But it's incredible. But his directorial debut was Synecdoche, New York. Beautiful movie. One of the best.
Spike Jonze would be close on my list too.
Yeah, because Spike Jonze did Being John Malkovich and Eternal Sunshine.
Her as
So he
well.
wrote these, and then
I see.
and then he finally wrote a movie, or directed a movie, and it was mind blowing for your first directorial debut.
What was it?
Synecdoche, New York. It's incredible.
That's good.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think it's my number one movie. Has been my number one movie since.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2. I have it written down. I just forgot already. P.T. Anderson.
Good one.
P.T. Anderson.
Yeah.
Okay, give me. I don't know these.
P.T. Anderson.
Maybe
Thomas
I'll know
Anderson.
the movies. Which?
Currently married. I think married or dating. Maya Rudolph, which is a very fun.
Really? From SNL.
Yeah. You'd
Yeah.
never really expect them to
So
be
what's a
together.
movie he does?
Like Magnolia. He works a lot with Philip Seymour Hoffman as well. Magnolia was with
I think I know that one.
Tom Cruise. He plays like a crazy. Yeah.
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
Oh, There Will Be Blood.
He,
Okay.
he actually does a lot of stuff with what's his name?
The guy
There Will Be
from that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah.
Okay.
DDL.
Last one.
So I have it between Stanley Kubrick
Mm-hmm.
or Woody Allen. Woody Allen will get us canceled though.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
but I love.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not
I
okay to
can't
fuck
help
kids, right?
He's made like 70 movies and I've seen every one.
Yeah, no,
So
no,
like
no, that's fair.
And you know
Listen,
what? Even his misses, because he has this rule where he does one good movie, one bad movie. I still like the bad ones.
One for
like,
him, one for us.
Yeah,
Kind of thing?
yeah. But he does one a year. It's incredible. I'll put it at 70 something. He stopped because of the Me Too movement. But
He got me too.
I mean, say what you want about the man, but I liked his movies. I don't know. You can't help what you like.
Listen, like OJ killed somebody, but he's still the juice.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, the man was a hell of a running back.
He's a
Was he
great
running back?
driver.
Yeah, great driver. Could never be caught.
Yeah.
If I
You
did
get
it,
away with it. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
P.T. Anderson, though, I'm surprised you didn't know. He's pretty famous.
I'm
I
not
would
like.
think.
I like know people that I like know. But
Yeah, yeah.
You guys seem like you know a lot about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know the people that I know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so who are yours?
Yeah.
Uh,
I wrote him down for my journal later.
so Guy Ritchie was up there for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, but he's lost his
definitely
card.
fall off. Yeah. I'd agree with Tawiki.
Taika Waititi.
Taika
Yeah.
Waititi.
I agree. Like I'm really fascinated with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a delight. Like,
Yeah.
What do you think his best movie is?
I love Hunt for the Wilder People.
Me too. But I think Boy was my favorite.
Yeah.
Boy's a
was
classic.
But here's the thing: it's kind of like Quentin Tarantino. It's the first one I saw of his.
Yeah.
His Boy. But in
How We Do the
really-
Shadows was the first I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And I have like a fascination
Hunt
with
for
that
the Younger
movie.
or for the Wild People was very similar in feeling to Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall feeling.
A lot of his movies in general share a lot of the same themes. But I think that's kind of like nice to see, and I'm curious if like Jojo Rabbit's going to kind of keep that same feeling because he does this good kind of mix of juvenile and like
Yeah.
adulthood
Yeah.
combined.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
good
he
at that.
does.
He seems like that kind of guy.
He almost ascribes adult feelings or thoughts to children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. He likes to.
He
ra-
grows them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Wes Anderson's
So
still
far
up
you
there
said
for me.
Oh no, you said Taika Waititi.
Yeah, I'd probably say Wes Anderson's still up there for me.
Okay, what's Wes Anderson's best movie?
I think you know this.
Yeah.
My favorite movie.
Yeah.
We went for We dressed up for Halloween.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's
That's
Steve
my
Zissou.
favorite. One of
Yeah,
my
Life
favorite
Aquatic.
movies still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Budapest Hotel's up there.
Yeah.
I really like Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
Moonrise, like his newer ones. Actually, yeah, he can't fall off except for Isle of Dogs. I didn't really care for.
Yeah, I thought I was fine with the animation style. I didn't like the romance in it, but like I think it was like pretty middle of the road for me.
Yeah.
But I say like
you know what?
Fantastic Mr. Fox is my favorite
Rushmore's
one.
always been my favorite.
Rushmore's
Rushmore's
You know what?
solid.
You know, there's a brand new song. The band Brand New. Do you know? No. They got Sick Transit, Gloria Gloria Fades, and that's from that scene where he says it to the teacher, and he's like, "It's Latin, dying language."
Now,
And they got that title from it.
I love the Alien movies. I love Prometheus.
Yeah,
You're going
sure.
James
yeah,
Alien
Cameron?
Covenant.
yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like it, but I also liked.
Is
Avatar.
No, not Avatar.
I'm also curious because it could either go with Ridley Scott or
Scott.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ridley Scott did
It is hard when someone asks you like, "What's your
Yeah,
top
there's
three?"
Counselor. I liked The Counselor.
Or like,
Nobody
someone's like,
liked
"What's
it.
your favorite
with
movie?"
Brad Pitt, and I never saw
It
that.
is. It is always a strange question when someone's like, "What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite director? What's your favorite actress?" And you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen a movie before in my life. I don't know. I can't answer the question. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
Ridley Scott.
I can't remember anything.
He makes some real duds, but
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Blade Runner.
yeah.
Blade Runner's a
Blade Runner's
cool
incredible,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
Alien Covenant.
Yeah, Ridley
Continue that
Scott's still
shit.
another Spielberg where it's like he
Yeah.
has these smashes and then these like
Yeah.
really bad ones. For
sure. Yeah.
But
But even some of his bad ones, like a lot of people didn't like The Counselor, and I like that style of movie. The Counselor.
Oh, that's where he's a hitman or something. He's like a rich guy.
Yeah, yeah. And Brad Pitt gets the thing around his neck.
Yeah.
That's my impression of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say that. I think
I like the Counselor. I didn't mind that.
I liked
I
it.
didn't mind it. Yeah.
Never saw it.
No.
Yeah, but I like when he does those style movies too. Those like kind of. I
Okay,
don't want
how
to
many-
say heist, but
Have
like,
you seen a lot of Stanley Kubrick movies?
Not that I could probably. I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't have
if
a top five?
No, I would not have a top 5 because I would not know if I've seen 5.
I feel like you have to. These are like, but it's kind of like a casino, kind of Goodfellas thing where
Yeah.
I would think everyone has seen them.
Okay, well, name some. Name the top.
Yeah.
Well,
you
my
just pull 'em up.
Yeah, name your
favorite
top.
is
He's a guest.
my favorite movie of all time is The Shining.
Okay.
That's Kubrick?
So that yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that would
so
be
I've seen The
number
Shining.
one.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
you're,
yeah.
gonna have seen them. You just didn't.
Yeah,
know.
that's what I mean. Like I wouldn't know if I seen them. Okay.
Number 2.
Is he dead?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
quite a while ago, like 2001.
Oh,
I'd
okay.
say
2001. Is that Kubrick?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that?
Yep.
Yep.
which I think would
Most people's
maybe be
favorite
my
movie.
number 2.
Most people's.
A lot of people love that movie.
Or like as Kubrick's.
And 3,
Full Metal Jacket. Have you seen that?
Oh, yep.
I'd
Yeah,
probably
see?
pick
Oh, okay.
Full Metal. Is
Full
my
Metal
third.
is.
Full Metal's
Yeah, let's
great.
go top 3 then. So Full Metal's my number 1, I think.
Is he the guy who did? Who's the guy who did Clockwork?
Yep.
Clockwork.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Actually, you know
look at
what?
these.
Never mind. I'm gonna pick Clockwork as my
That's
third.
3. Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen at least 4.
Eyes Wide
Uh,
Shut. He did.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Barry Lyndon.
Eyes Wide Shut. Is that the one where it has the big sex party?
yeah.
Yep.
Masquerade.
Yeah.
Sex
Great
with
movie.
Tom Cruise. Fidelio.
Yeah.
Originally,
That's the password for the sex party.
yeah.
Fidelio.
I think it was originally supposed to be a comedy for I can't remember. He like was writing it or he had this idea for it and was pitched it to like someone like Jim Carrey or something to do as like a comedy, and then it never took off. So he turned it into this weird sex drama.
Oh, I like
you-
that kind of shit.
Have you watched all of them?
No,
No,
I've never
Did
seen
you-
Barry
you,
Lyndon.
You didn't go as like say when you were younger, because you say you have like a list of movies or like a amount of movies. You don't
Yeah.
ever just go through directors that you like and just crush all of them.
That's what
I mean, I
happens to me.
did with Quentin Tarantino, but yet
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still never got around to Jackie Robinson.
Brown.
Or Jackie Brown.
I do that with actors
Jackie
a lot.
Robinson's the baseball
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
42, I have
Well,
seen.
what's your least favorite though? What's your least favorite?
of his?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Who?
It's Kubrick.
Oh.
Sorry, I thought.
Yeah. Not every movie ever.
I mean, out of the ones, because I've never seen Spartacus. I've never seen Barry Lyndon.
Barry Lyndon, very underrated. Very underrated.
Because I think
Not
that
talked
was
about very much.
Don't think I've seen that one.
was Spartacus is first,
Lolita?
and then I've
seen
never
Lolita?
seen Lolita. So yeah, I don't know.
Past the Glory is a really good one.
I
It's-
feel
it's
like I
World
couldn't
War
say
One.
what my least favorite
Oh,
was.
is that the one
because I
with
haven't
Morgan
seen-
Freeman?
No, Past the Glory is like from 1950s, black and white,
Oh.
World War One.
You're thinking of Bruce Almighty,
Yeah, the Bruce God.
Right.
which he didn't
right.
do. He passed up on it.
Is it Morgan Freeman in a movie called Glory or something like that?
I don't know.
Where it's like I thought it was on a war, but I could be
I don't
wrong.
know.
What do I know?
Oh, Fury. It's not Morgan Freeman.
That's Samuel L. Jackson.
No, that's Brad Pitt.
All black people don't look the same, Ian.
No, there's no black people in Fury. I don't think.
Oh, I'm thinking of Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Favorite actor. Oh no, let's just go all-time favorite movie.
All-time favorite is
Yeah.
The Shining.
The Shining. Oh, it's
Yeah.
your
Oh,
all-time.
are you excited to see the?
I wasn't, but
Did you
the
read the book?
reviews. I did. Yeah, Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
You did read the book?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the one thing I know about The Shining is that Stephen King did not like The Shining, the movie.
Right.
He wrote the book.
I was reading the Wikipedia article maybe like 6 months ago, and there's like a collection of responses to it, and he
Yeah.
warmed up over time to like, it's not bad.
Right.
Yeah.
He wanted it to be bloodier and gorier
Yeah.
and more violent,
Yeah.
whereas Stanley Kubrick wanted it to be more in
Artsy.
his head and mental and psychological, which
'Cause
works better.
That's the
Yeah, I
difference,
felt
right?
like it
it's
was
it's
good.
that in the book, it's the house that's haunted, and in the movie, it's him that's going crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still the house, though, right?
It kind
No.
of manifests it.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's really in his head. He's going crazy, but like there's some level of
But he's going crazy because of the house, right?
no. I
Am I
think he's
remembering
just
this wrong?
literally going crazy.
What? Didn't the
Yeah.
house have something to do with it?
House has something
Well,
to do
I
with
mean,
it, but it's more implied it's him.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But
Yeah.
the house definitely had a role.
I've read Doctor Sleep, but I've never read the original Shining,
It's a good
so I
question.
don't know the book.
It's a good question, but I think it's not the house. It's him, but there's an element because it's the son's also has some kind of. So it's not just
Yeah.
him because the
Well, 'cause
son
he
has
sees the
some
girls, right?
some kind of thing too.
Yeah, well, because the former caretakers, he also killed his family with
Yeah.
an axe.
Yeah.
And that was the great Grady.
So see, it's got to be the house.
I think it's.
Oh, it's just a coincidence.
I don't
I
know.
think
it's
it
a
could
good
be
question.
both.
It's a good question.
Why
I think
not
I think
both?
it's both. Yeah, I think it's both. And then in the book, it's the house.
But yeah,
enough.
now with Doctor Sleep, like the book I thought was just fine. Like it wasn't anything special. And then I was kind of like hesitant about this one, but the reviews just started coming in today and it sounds like it's good.
Oh, really?
They said that the best part about it is the scenes that they aren't trying to replicate The Shining,
Yeah.
but they're doing their own thing. So I'll go see it. I mean, I was disappointed with It Too, which Stephen King also took more of a hands-on role with.
Right.
So because this is kind of another one that he's taking a lot of hands on,
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious to see
agree.
how it's going to be. But
I definitely liked It One better.
yeah,
I didn't
It
watch them.
One's
I don't watch
great.
scary movies.
I love scary movies. Actually, Sam Raimi also might be in my
He's a very
Evil
hit
Dead.
and
like
miss, though, I
Evil
feel
Dead
like.
is one of my
Spider-Man?
favorite things in
Yeah.
the world. Yeah, like the
He's very
Spider-Man.
eclectic.
Spider-Man
though. He's
1
got
and
a
2
very
are great,
eclectic,
yeah.
Like
group of
one of my
movies.
favorite
Hulk?
horror movies is
The Hulk? Did you do Hulk? Or am I thinking of someone
Drag Me to
else?
Hell.
Who am I thinking of?
Hulk was Ang Lee. for
Ang Lee. That's who I'm
one.
thinking of actually. Ang Lee's the eclectic
Ang Lee's
director
gotta-
as a random.
Yeah, he's got to
Very
stick
all
to
over the
the.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he like
gay cowboy
Life of
stuff.
Pi, where it's like a visionary movie like that, and
Yeah.
then you get to a
Yeah, Life of Pi I didn't really like care for too much.
Tomorrow, the Beatles
Yeah.
magic movie.
Yeah.
No, Drag Me to Hell and the Evil Dead series is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
horror. Yeah. He might be up there. I don't think he's done enough though. I don't know.
Yeah, so Shining, favorite
Shining?
movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
mine's
guys?
next to New York. I already said it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's just,
Yeah. Charlie Kaufman, I actually legitimately believe is the best storyteller. Because for me, I like, that's why I like movies, is I just generally looking for what's the best story.
Mhm.
And I think he just has the most, because I like the unique blend of magical realism
yeah,
and straightforward, like life. He takes big subjects.
just life,
too.
but a little bit off.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, now that I'm trying to think of my favorite movie, this might be why we have a difference in opinion on Joker.
Because
Because like my movie might no. My movie might be something like really like you guys are talking about like storytelling stuff.
Yeah.
Like
and yours is the longest yard.
I was gonna say like mine might be that Brad Pitt baseball movie.
Moneyball.
Moneyball's not bad.
Moneyball's good.
Moneyball's
No, it's a
not
great
bad.
movie,
Yeah, yeah.
but like I would never be like oh like it was.
Is
it.
Moneyball the same director as The Big Short?
Yeah, I
His
think it's
first
Adam
serious
McKay.
Yeah, it's first serious.
Adam McKay. Oh yeah, Adam McKay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Because he did like Talladega Nights and all that stuff. Yeah.
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 That's true.
Yeah.
Great movie too.
Yeah, it is. It is a good
Bobby.
movie.
Yeah.
It is a good movie. I don't usually like comedies either.
No.
Like I like comedies if I'm hungover and I don't have a drink anymore.
Who did your like original favorite movie when I met you?
Donnie Darko.
Yeah, who did that?
That is.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm usually good with
Is it
all this
one-hitter?
IMDb stuff, but
a one-hitter?
Yeah, it's just I haven't thought of his name because he did a few other movies I just kind of missed.
Mm.
But I'm sad I cannot remember his name right now. It is Richard Kelly.
yeah.
Richard Kelly. Yeah, one hit wonder because there's a director's cut.
Did he do anything like any other?
Yeah. Did you watch? Have you seen Donnie Darko?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you seen the director's cut?
No.
Terrible.
Okay.
And
good.
the director's cut is his cut, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the studio turned this movie into a good movie.
yeah,
was
it
dive
edited
bombed.
it into something good.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's one of those movies that just like everything went right for him to succeed, and then he fucked it up every time. He did Domino
Oh,
after.
yeah,
Didn't
Keira
like that
Knightley,
one.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that one.
And then he did Southland Tales with Stifler.
Oh,
It's like a time travel movie. I think The Rock's in it too. It's about time travel. It's not good. The box.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it's a box where so you bring it to the box and you get $100,000 if you hit the box.
Yeah.
But someone dies. Good would you rather?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Though.
But it seems to be really stupid because it's always somebody you know. It seems to be, right? I think in the movie, right? It's always somebody you know
Yeah,
or
I
it
think
affects
that's what
you
it was.
somehow.
Yeah, it affects
It's
you.
a stranger, it's a random stranger, but it always affects you.
Right.
Is it $100,000?
It was a lot.
I guess I can just it's 1 million.
How many
One.
times can you press the button? I feel like that's the wrong question.
There's
just to like press it as many
there's
times
actually
as you can.
a joke video where it's like he's like, here's the box, and if you and he's like, wait, I'm supposed to tell you what happened.
What do I get?
He's like, wait, oh, okay, what do I get? What do I get? He's like, he just keeps hitting it. He's like, you get $1 million. Okay. He's like, no, I gotta tell you what happens. Somebody dies. Oh, okay.
That you know.
He just keeps hitting it. It's a good bit. I think it's like the whitest kids you know. Have you seen that show?
No.
No,
I've heard of it.
It's
though.
sound- Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard of
bit
it.
show. My favorite one is this guy sees his college friend and he's like, hey John, what are you up to now? And he's like, I'm drinking PCP. That's what I'm doing now. He's like, what do you mean right now? Yeah, this is a big jug, PCP. Broke up with my wife, we're divorced, drinking PCP. He's like, oh okay, yeah, life's great. Oh. You did bring up a good question though today.
What?
About Twitter? Twitter just released they're getting rid of
Oh, the political ads.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Which is
yeah,
a
their
good
stance
topic.
against the. What did you think of? Before we talk about that, what did you think of the Zuckerberg thing? Like, did you watch
Which
it?
is, this is like a good contrast because
Yeah, so it's hard because as a staunch, like I'm relatively staunch free speech,
Me too.
free expression,
Yes.
but then most of it, the argument is, well, not government though. It's not government free speech, not political free speech. It's regular people free speech,
Right.
right? That the government has to have some restrictions. Politics has to have some restrictions, right? It's
Right.
private individuals that argue
Are you talking
for
about
free
the
speech.
fact check thing?
No, it's because
Or lack
they're getting
thereof.
rid of political ads, so it's obviously limiting their free
No, but that's
speech. in some
Twitter.
way.
I was talking the
Yeah, Facebook they said they wouldn't get rid of, so they did the
Yeah.
opposite.
They're not going to fact check it. That was the whole
Right.
thing. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what I'm just saying. The argument is about free speech. That they're not having the same access to free speech
Yeah.
as regular people. So it's like,
because they
I think
believe that a politician can lie on Facebook,
Right.
but it should be the people that can see that it's a
Right.
lie.
Right.
Which I think, like, why not, like, then it becomes like, I would say, have better fact checkers.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be great if you could see a post and it says, like, this candidate said this.
Yeah.
And then right underneath it, it said, like, this is untrue. Like, to put the truth
Yeah.
underneath it
is
so
even
you
more
could-
damaging, right?
Right, because
Yeah.
then you now see a contrast of like,
Right.
oh, well, they're saying this, but the truth is this.
Right.
But then they were showing off like the fact checkers.
Yeah.
And they're using both sides. So like
Which
using Breitbart as a fact
Yeah.
checker for a right wing post, it's going to confirm it because chances are
Right.
that right wing post used Breitbart as their source. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but,
then-
I think the issue that you're going to run into with that, 'cause I do agree, and I think it's like easy to say, well, this is obviously not true. This is obviously not true. But
Yeah.
especially right now, where you're sitting here in your business and you have these sides probably arguing about what is true and what's not true, and you're just, I can understand why they're just like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah. It's
Like,
hard.
I'm not even going to
What-
be the one that makes the decision here. Like, you
Yeah.
guys make this ads, people will decide.
I saw this interesting thing where it was like listing the people's attempts for truth or
Right.
like
Right.
how to regulate. And so it's like no attempts to moderate. Well, then you get stuff like 4chan where they're hubs of racist, horrible people.
Right.
Some attempt to moderate. Well, then you get pockets of ideology, like very specific, but it's like left ideology or right ideology.
those
Right?
bubbles.
There's not really a good way to really handle
Yeah, because
it.
it's easy to talk about the ends and say what's true and not true. It's just this shit in the middle where, like, especially right now, where
Yeah.
everything's so divided.
I mean, the Alberta election was bad for that, where you could post whatever you'd like on Facebook, and then as soon as it was filed for, like, this is a lie or something, they would take it down. And
Right.
that was it.
You know what's interesting?
But it would already have done damage
It's interesting
to
'cause
all those people that have read it,
in
because
the-
now they think it's true, and then
Right.
they carry on with their day thinking that.
Because I was looking at that from somebody who works in digital marketing, right? And I was like, a lot of things he was saying they don't fact check or they, and I was like, but this seems to me to be false because they do, and I've seen it.
Yeah.
They moderate pretty hard on Facebook. Like they don't allow
he
a lot
said-
of ads that are political based.
We can't get ads.
Yeah, so I was like,
confirmed.
but he was saying they don't, and does he just not know like how much they do? Because they do.
Well, he
moderate.
said there were certain things that they moderate,
but they
like
moderate even,
acts for violence. And
yeah,
shit
you
like
have to
that.
get. Well, I guess they moderated. Well, for us, it probably looks like they moderate because we haven't got special access for
Yeah.
political messaging.
right.
Yeah, because you have to actually apply
Which,
and
yeah,
get a specific
you
access.
could then say whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess
Right.
yeah. So for me, it looked like they moderate heavily because we just didn't get access to that.
I think I'm on both sides of the argument. Like, I get if you're gonna have political, I get why you're just like you don't want to get into the argument with that, and then
Yeah.
I get why Jack Dorsey was like, well, fuck it, we're just not gonna let
Yeah.
people.
Which, I
Yeah.
kind of.
I
like-
think you have to do that. I think once the company starts trying to regulate, then people are going to be like, "Well, you're on this team, you're on that
Right.
team," and then it's like,
And I like because on Twitter you can still post.
Mhm.
You just
Right.
can't do ads.
Yeah.
Right,
Which
right.
that makes sense to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't. Yeah.
Politics shouldn't be able to sell themselves as like a product.
Right.
right,
I think,
I
and I
agree.
think it's a very refreshing move
Yeah.
to see that Twitter has done that, because I never thought that they would, and
Right.
it's crazy that they are turning down a revenue source to keep this a bit more pure,
Yeah.
because Twitter isn't known for making the right choices. Like
Right.
they are a business and they try
Yeah.
and keep it as such, and they do a lot of like because there is a lot of like, I don't want to say proof, but like a lot of evidence that like Jack himself is very right wing, but he tries
Interesting.
to
A lot of right
Yeah, I don't
wing
know if
pundits
he-
would have
yeah, I
said
don't
the
know.
opposite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
because they never. But it's the fact of like, I mean, it's been an argument going on for a while now of like, why can a Nazi say things on Twitter?
Right.
And he'll usually say it's free of like freedom
I
of
thought it was the
speech.
opposite. People would say, why are there, like, is there a big thing for ISIS was their recruiting from Twitter,
yeah.
right? And then so a lot of the right would say, well, look, a Nazi can't
Yeah.
say stuff on Twitter; they'll get banned quickly.
right.
But then there's that it's like a meme by now, but that they can't make an auto moderator because it's an auto moderator, right?
Yeah.
How it works on Twitter. They don't control it. They sometimes take things back.
Oh, right.
But it's like they couldn't differentiate between a conservative and a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
moderator,
because
so
the
they can't do
algorithm
any of
would
them?
pick up
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
people, right? But that's a good point because I've actually heard the opposite, that he's very left wing.
Yeah.
And so
There's a very famous. There's a very
But and
famous.
this comes to the bubbles too.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
there's a-
comes to
there's
the
a very
bubble, right?
famous,
So where it's like,
interview
what if a company had to decide what's true and then decide to ban which ad? If the ad was what side is he on, and you as a company had to do a fact check on what you think Jack Dorsey
Yeah, there's
is, you'd rather just be like, fuck it.
There's a very famous
Let them do
interview.
that.
It's Jack Dorsey, and he's arguing with Tim Pool, and Tim Pool is a right.
Yeah, on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he's a right political commentator. And
Is he right?
He's probably center right, but like
Yeah,
people
yeah,
would,
yeah,
would
yeah.
look at him as right
Okay.
now because it's the way
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
world
it's the way
works
you-
now.
Yeah,
It's-
that's true. You're either
But-
right or left.
Yeah, and he was calling out all the right moderation, and that they don't do the same on the left.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Joe Rogan one, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and see, that's the other thing is that I think a lot of right wing people, the most vocal of them, I see more like politicians being like, well, why aren't my tweets getting seen? Am I shadow banned? Like
Right.
they believe, but I also think they kind of enjoy painting a target on
Yeah.
themselves because if they paint a target, then they think that by painting an imaginary target, they make themselves seem like people care about what they're
Right,
saying. Like,
right.
oh, they're blocking me because I'm getting too close to the truth.
Right,
Like that
right,
comes more
right.
from the right
Yeah, for
than
sure.
the left.
No, you're just a racist.
That's for sure.
But like, I have times where I post something on Twitter and I'm like,
Nothing.
the algorithm's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
working for me.
That's what it is.
And so I think in the end, it just comes down to we all suck.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I like about this Twitter announcement is that he was just like, we're just going to take it away.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a nicer move than
Yeah.
like Facebook. They talk a lot about freedom of speech, but they also need to, like, the public needs to realize they're making money from those ads.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's a business for them. So when
Yeah,
they
for
talk
sure.
about, do they want to keep a revenue source alive? Of course they do.
Yeah, because it's interesting because there was even people, like the fake news thing was really big in 2016, and I think it was people in Bulgaria, like teenagers in Bulgaria, would make fake news stories, run ads to it, and then get AdSense from the page. And they would make a
Right.
ton of money from clicks because they would just blow up this fake news story. And it would
Right.
heavily affect the election and people's thought because they would believe it because boomers don't know how to tell
Right.
when websites
Yeah.
are fake.
Wouldn't it be easier for like I feel like this decision is definitely easier for Twitter to make because they're very much like you just type.
I think it's probably easier because as Nick was saying,
cuts moderation.
It's not. They don't make a lot of money from their ads. Like I'm sure they do, but like
even the
Facebook
platforms,
is like by
no,
far
but even the
highest.
platforms themselves, like I view Facebook more of like a newsstand.
Well, no, I think it's easier to make because the revenue stream is not as insane as Facebook.
But besides that, but
so from
even
a business standpoint, it's easier to make.
Yeah, but even like the platform itself, like Facebook to me, what it is now is it's like I'm sitting in a news segment.
Right.
And I'm just looking at like
so it's
ads.
part of the news. It's like a section of the news.
So it's like
politics.
it's hard to get rid of ads.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Twitter
That's
is
actually
more of like conversational. Like you think something and you write.
That's a really good point. It's kind of like say
So I feel like for Twitter, it's definitely easier for them to make that decision.
It's like if a newspaper, they're like, well, we should get rid of the politics section because sometimes our editorials fib the truth a little bit. And it's like, well, no,
it's a newspaper versus a magazine.
Right.
Yeah.
Magazine is more curated to your interests, so you're more interested in going through each of those pages because you get to see the things you like.
Right.
But then it's like when you see an ad for something that you don't want being pushed on you, you get angry at that. And like Twitter recently, people have been tweeting about this more. They've just been cranking out more and more ads, like especially on mobile use.
Yeah.
You'll just see like an ad on like every second, like. And now I'm finally like just starting to block them, and they're just coming back with like a vengeance.
Yeah.
So they're really pushing the ad aspect.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so fascinated, and maybe it's why they're being like, listen, we'll get rid of the politics, but we're going to step up with more
other ads,
product ads,
to
make up that loss of revenue.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, we're going to wrap up pretty soon here.
Okay.
One hot take. In and out.
Is this like a
LA
trending?
Sucks. That's my hot take.
Okay.
You a basketball fan?
I like it.
Oh, there you go. Okay, what?
That's it.
Lakers. Well, actually,
What's
I have
the-
more hot takes too.
Yeah, let's go through all the hot takes. Rapid fire.
Wikipedia is the best thing to come out of the internet. Is that a good hot take?
You know, I never really. Well, I guess I use Wikipedia.
No.
But,
What do you think is the best thing to come out of the internet?
I mean, there's
porn?
That was there
like
is
really
that.
though, like yeah, that's got to be the number one thing that's come out of the internet.
Maybe the most popular thing.
Well, that's what I mean.
But I think Wikipedia is the best thing. It's like the entire collection of human knowledge right there.
But I mean, I feel
It's
like
incredible.
Google would probably be like
Yeah,
the
but isn't that what
biggest.
just Google is then?
I'm actually I've been thinking about this recently. Like Wikipedia, I
Wikipedia's
don't use
mind-blowing
as much
good invention.
anymore. Like,
No?
I don't know. Whenever, like, even when I
It's because you're indoctrinated with Facebook fake articles.
yeah,
Yeah.
I go.
You're in your
it's
echo
all
chamber.
those
Yeah, you're in your echo
information.
chamber. You don't want to actually learn the facts because actually Wikipedia is probably the best place in the world to learn the facts because both sides can edit them. You just have to have facts to verify your facts.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point.
Yeah, so like if you're doing like 9/11 conspiracy, that's a great article to read because conspiracists only can use facts to edit that article, but they can edit the article if they have facts.
Right.
So it's really good on contentious issues to read. It's one of the best
honestly,
places.
God, I can't think of a time I used Wikipedia that wasn't for like an actor's.
Really?
movie
I've always been
list.
obsessed with Wikipedia, and I love reading
I
articles.
don't think I've ever read an article. I didn't know it did articles. I feel like it was
I just called them oral. I guess I could.
Oh,
call
okay,
them all
okay. I just
articles.
read it as like.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
They're
do you
all
want to
just
see a
the
list of this actor's
information,
movies?
Yeah, I guess they're articles. They're just a big list of facts, which is
Yeah.
What an article should be, I guess, technically. But I was reading the one on austerity because I'm interested in like, is there any conservative who actually says austerity is a
Oh
like,
yeah, I
any
saw you
cons-
posted
any
about
econ-
that.
'cause I'm
Wait,
curious.
explain this to me.
So austerity is when in recessions you cut essential services
Oh,
and
okay.
to get rid of your deficit,
Oh, okay.
right? So you do cutbacks.
Right.
So you try and save money.
Right.
But most economists would say, no, you spend in recessions because you're trying to ignite the economy.
Right.
Cutting back would have less money in people's hands, less spending. It's going to increase the recession or prolong it.
I don't know. I don't.
Like YouTube's pretty
economy
good.
is-
You guys just like
I'm trying to think of just other
I like
things from the
information.
internet. Email is fantastic.
No, but you're saying
like,
that you probably use YouTube more than any of those things.
Yeah, but that's a negative addiction.
Yeah, but what do you call a negative addiction?
When it wastes a lot of time on nothing.
But are you wasting?
Yeah,
Yeah, but some-
subscribe and like our page.
Okay, next hot take.
I
Rapid
have
fire.
one last take. One last hot
Come
take.
on, rapid fire. This gotta be boring. Trending
Sriracha
topics.
is only good in Asian soups.
No.
I
I like
almost
my sriracha in my hummus.
see. I almost
Hummus?
It's better,
agreed
though.
with you.
It's not bad in other things, but there's better hot sauces.
But I don't agree with the soup aspect.
No? Pho.
I think is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like ramen is great.
Yeah.
But I also like it in a stir fry.
I think some would call
No,
that
you know what's
pho.
better? It's it depends if you're North or South Vietnamese.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, boom.
Or a pad thai. Like I think
Pad Thai? No, but you know what's better is chili sauce.
isn't that it is chili sauce.
No, but like with chilies in it.
Yeah.
It's scoopable.
Yeah, I know which one. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like I think
They're
it
different.
works
They're very
better.
Are you
different.
forgetting this guy is Twitter verified? So you
Yeah,
fucking show some
yeah,
respect.
yeah.
I think I agree with it works best in a lot of Asian cuisines because
Yeah.
like when it comes to like Mexican foods, I like a Mexican hot sauce with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like I like things that complement it.
Yeah.
Because like I don't want to put I like a spicy ketchup on my mac and cheese, but I wouldn't put a sriracha on there. That's why I keep like 10 different hot
I
sauces.
feel like all the chili sauces taste the same.
That's
Well,
wrong.
that's a
And we're
bad
arguing-
take.
That's probably the worst
It's not a hot
take.
take. That's all it takes. I really gotta pee.
We had no more?
No.
No more trending shit?
No.
Lakers suck.
You know what? Last
No,
hot
they don't
takes.
suck.
Joker. Terrible movie.
Ooh.
Oh. Straight for the jugular.
Yeah, that was
Alright.
it?
That's all. I only had 3 good hot takes.
We need trending shit.
I know.
I like In-N-Out. I think their burgers are very
the burger
fresh.
was a very average burger.
I think the
I guess
fries
I didn't explain that one. You guys just moved on to. Do you like the NBA?
Yeah. I also think they have good
What?
milkshakes.
That's a
The
good
NBA's
take.
fixed.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
The fries are horrible.
This is probably a good
One
time
of
to
the-
get into China right
One of
now
the worst.
too.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
We did it. We did it a couple
Yeah,
times.
we did that one.
Yeah,
did
we
you
did a
hear
couple
that China took
China actually appeased one of their demands.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was trying to find that word.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, they
I don't know
buckled.
words
They
like
I
that.
buckled
thought
at the knees.
they also had a take on In-N-Out Burger,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
guess not.
I sent you it though. What do you mean?
Yeah,
did you
that's
see
probably
it? I
where.
sent you
Yeah,
it.
that's probably why I saw
I
it.
sent you that. That's what happened. Because you were saying, I don't know how they actually get anything. I don't know if what it's going to. And I was like, well, no, they did get something.
Well, yeah, but you were also telling me that most people in Hong Kong didn't even want it.
Yeah.
And a
We're wrong
sound
sometimes.
take.
And on that note,
Yeah, we're wrong sometimes. All right, I'm gonna pee myself.
all right,
We're done.
then we're done.
Well, thanks, guys.
Sick.
That was a lot of fun.